So all of you listen here. So today's topic is most important topic in English grammar, that is active voice and passive voice. Active voice and passive voice. This is the most important topic for SSLC students. So there are some rules and regulations in a very short period. How to approach grammar, how to approach active voice and passive voice, how to solve each and every question regarding active voice and passive voice. A short trick is there. So for example, in active voice and passive voice and passive voice, some tricks are there, short tricks, in order to remember in a very short period. Now you don't have more time, isn't it? Very soon you are going to write SSLC board exam. So in a less period, you have to approach the topic. There are some basic rules. That is what means for V1. If in a sentence, if in a given sentence, the verb is V1, we have four forms of verbs, isn't it? There are four forms of verb: V1, V2, V3 and V4. So these are the four forms of the basic forms of the verbs. So if V1 is there in the given sentence, verb is V1, first form of the verb. Then you have to use either is or are. Is for singular, are for plural. If the verb is V2, then you take either was or were. Was for singular, were for plural. So this is basically for V1 and V2. First you know about V1 and V2. After that very easily you can get about all the things. So knowing about V1 and V2 is very, very important. For example, and one more most important thing is, while changing the sentence into passive voice, always we have to take which form of the verb? Very good. Third form of the verb. We have to use third form of the verb. Without using third form of the verb, we are not going to create passive voice. Now, for example, you are changing the sentence into passive voice. Then compulsory you have to take V3. Without V3, there is no passive voice, isn't it? One more thing. Always you have to use by. By. This preposition you must and should use in the passive voice. Is it clear? Now here, if the verb is V1, then you have to take is or are. Either you take is or are. Is for singular, are for plural. For example. So, Rama eats a mango. Rama eats a mango. Now here basically you divide the sentence. You basically divide the sentence into subject, verb, object. Now here in this sentence, in this particular sentence, which verb is given? V1. This is V1. This is V1 means obviously you focus this formula. You focus this formula, isn't it? Here V1 is there. As you know that already, you know one thing. For V1 either is will come or are will come. Is comes for singular, are comes for plural. Most important, while changing into passive voice, always passive voice begins with object. Always passive voice begins with the object. So very easy it is, a mango. A mango. Now here, a mango, the meaning of a in English grammar, the meaning of a is one. One. A mango, here how many mangoes are there? Only one is there. One means singular. For singular you take what? Is. A mango is. A mango is. Always after helping verb. Soon after helping verb, you have to take main verb. And you know that V3 is used in passive voice. So here, this is V1. What is the V3 of this? A mango is eaten. A mango is eaten. This is the V3. A mango is eaten. As I told you already, always we have to take by preposition. So by will come in the passive voice. A mango is eaten by Rama. So this is the basic structure. This is the basic sequence of active voice and passive voice. So according to this basic rule, actually here there is no logic. In learning grammar, no need to follow any kind of logic as you follow in mathematics or in any other particular subject. This is very simple. Here there is no rule restriction, no rules and regulation, nothing. So just for V1, if the verb is V1, take either is or are. For V2, was or were. Is for singular, are for plural. Here was for singular, were for plural. So this is the basic rule that you need to understand. That's all, isn't it? Now one more example. So here, let us see one more example. So for example, here, take second example. Now Gita wrote, Gita wrote letters. Gita wrote letters. So very simple. Just you write the format: subject, verb, object. In passive voice, always passive voice begins with object. So I very easily take object here, letters. Letters. Now go for verb. Here verb is what? V2. Very good. For V2, already for V2 you know, either was will come or were will come. Was for singular, were for plural. Letters, is it singular or plural? Very good. Plural. For plural, what will come? Were. Letters were. Always you take in passive voice third form of the verb. Here V2 is there. Take third form. Letters were returned. Letters were returned by. By whom? By Gita. So this is the simple logic you need to understand and follow. That's all. Is here any logic that you need to apply? Nothing. No logic. So note it down. This is the most important.